Alright, so this guy looks pretty cool out of the box, but there are a couple of easy things we can do to take him to the next level. A good first step would be to paint the elbows and knees. To do this, all I'm going to be using is Tamiya Acrylic X10 gunmetal and your average run-of-the-mill paintbrush. So I have partially disassembled the kit and shaken the crap out of my paint, and all I'm going to do is dip a little bit here, and I'm going to just kind of slap it on. This is my preferred method. I would say by no means this is the correct way necessarily, but it is what I've done to kind of get the best results for myself so far. And while I've got the color out, I may as well paint a couple more things. We're just going to let these parts hang out for a while, and once they're dry, I'll show you how to clean them up. I've allowed the paint plenty of time to dry, and the parts that I overpainted I'm just going to clean off with an X-Acto knife and a sanding stick. You can see where I overpainted here, and all you're going to do is just take the knife and kind of just scratch away at it. Acrylic paint is really soft compared to other paints, and you can easily just get rid of the excess paint that way, and it starts to clean up pretty nicely. You can see that I've already done it with this piece here. So let me go back and clean up the rest of these pieces, and we'll go from there. Alright, next we're going to try some battle damage. This is something I've never really done before, but I'm going to take my Dremel, probably at a lower speed, and I'm just going to kind of just tap around on the shield and make some dents and kind of some bullet hole kind of things maybe? I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to do that all over the kit and just do general scratches and gashes and cool looking stuff. So I'm going to kill the sound because nobody wants to hear this, and I'll be back in just a moment. So I've taken a Dremel to everything and then gone over everywhere that I Dremeled with a sanding stick to get rid of some of the kind of finer pieces. And we're almost ready for the next step, but I'm attempting to make some bullet holes here, and I want to try and make them a little more convincing. So I'm just going to take my hobby knife here and basically just cut little triangle kind of shapes, I think. A couple into each hole, and try to make some blast marks. So I just used some more Tamiya acrylics. I used flat aluminum XF16, and I just kind of went into the bullet holes and accented some of the deeper marks. And I think for the first time it turned out really cool. Did it on the shield, made some bullet holes on the one shoulder. Those don't show up quite as well. And then on the front skirt as well. So I'm going to give these some time to dry, and then we'll move on to the last step of this video. Alright, and the last thing we're going to cover today is something called a gunk wash. That is simply when you take oil paint and you wipe it all over the model and then wipe it off with an old t-shirt. Oil paint will fill in all of these grooves and nicks that we've put into the model, as well as fill in any panel lines. So let's get to it. I'm just going to take oil paint and don't really have to even think about it, just rub it all over the model. And I know it looks kind of crazy right now, but trust me, it works and it looks cool. It's going to fill in all those little grooves and nicks that we made. Then we're just going to simply take an old t-shirt, any kind of cloth, and rub off the excess oil paint. And here's our piece after the gunk wash. You can see that it kind of filled in all of the recesses that we made, as well as just generally discoloring the plastic, giving it kind of a worn, greasy, gunky, oily look. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this with the rest of the pieces, and I'll show you what we're looking like when we're done. Alright, and there's the model, pretty sufficiently gunk washed, I would say. I'm going to call this a wrap for today. I'm going to allow about 5 days for this all to dry before I can use any other paints on it. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you for part 2 of this customizing this GM. Have a good one. Take care.